Hi, I'm Unique Model, aka Shantae Renee P for Positivity, and this is a channel for love and for healing. I want you to know that love begins with you, and it absolutely does. Be the love you want to see manifest in your life, and it will come. So, this is a message about burdens, and also how what things that you need to release will cause you physical illnesses or physical symptoms, physical pains within your body. So a couple of weeks ago, I had this pain show up, which has been a recurrent pain for me, where I would get pain down my neck and on my shoulder, on the left side, which is representative of the feminine side. So I know part of my journey, I am here to clear generational curses. So generational wounds, things of that nature. I'm hearing the burden is heavy. It has been. But it is clearing. And I'd be glad when I can tag somebody else in because the bitch is tired. But anywho, so I had been having this pain, and I had been having it. It started back in November of 2022. And my awakening started like at the end of 2018. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey. So this pain would come and go. I noticed back in 2022, like November of 2022, I do like home health care, caregiver type roles. So I noticed that my shoulder would start hurting. I'm like, it's like a throbbing pain. All this is terrible. So like almost to the point, it's like, can I just take it off and set it over there because it hurts so damn bad. Like, wow. So I noticed like this pain would come and go, and it seemed to come in November and around April. I'm like for the past few years, since November of 2022, that's what it's been doing. It's been coming like November, April. So I'm like, something either within the lineage or something within my life, it may be significant about those months. I have not figured all of it out yet. I did do a video a couple of weeks ago that in 2023, my the lady that I was taking care of, she was 95. She actually passed away. So, and she was very, very dear to me, very near to my heart, very encouraging, and it did hurt when she left. But you know, we just keep moving along. So getting back to the pain. So the pain stopped about a few days ago. So I knew it was related to my heart chakra, because like these organs, limbs, whatever, they are connected to the heart. You know, asthma problems, heart issues, things of that nature, they are connected to the heart chakra. So, you know, of course, if you're having any issues, you always go to the doctor. Not giving you medical advice, but after you have exhausted all of those things, then you know you can start looking at the spiritual side of things. So I knew, because it's like, it's still it's May now. It's like the beginning of May, but in April it started maybe about 3 weeks ago, and I was like, okay, and it just kept getting worse and worse, and then I would get some relief, and then it would get worse, and I'm using all these. I'm using the heat. I'm not a person to take meds, but I was having to take meds and things of that nature, and so I'm taking Tylenol and ibuprofen, which I know is really not good for me, but the pain was bad. So I'm using heat, I'm using a TENS unit, I'm doing like all of these things trying to get rid of this pain. So I'm like, I'm telling myself, I know it's something dealing with the heart chakra. And I had gotten a vision of this being released, like when it initially started. So they were letting me know that it was going to be released. It was like I had got a crack in my shoulder, and it was all this light and, you know, like clouds like coming from the shoulder. So I knew I was going to get relief from it. I just didn't know when. I didn't know how it was going to happen. So, you know, I'm treating myself, you know, trying to make me as comfortable as possible. And I knew it was some type of burden that I was holding on to. So move forward. My mom and I'm taking her to the doctor. So we get into it. We're fussing over finances, and literally I just blow up. Because it's like so many things that I had been holding on to, that I had not said to her, trying to spare her feelings. So I don't know if many of you know, I've talked about this on my channel before, that my daughter was here and my grandkids, and the treatment that she ended up getting towards the middle and end that actually ended up causing her to leave was horrific. Between my grandmother does, I can't say whether she's a full-blown narcissist, but she does have narcissistic tendencies, and my mom has Stockholm syndrome. Plain and simple, I'm just gonna put it out there. So and this Stockholm syndrome, you can look it up, is where the person who has caused you pain, you still try to basically please them, you're still loyal to them, things of that nature. I had to be the one that basically woke up to the bullshit. So me and her get into an argument. I'm basically cussing her out, and yes, I did. Yeah, I did. So I'm fussing at her, and I'm telling her, the way I'm fussing at you is the way you should have been fussing at your mama when your mama used to attack me. So I had been holding on to that burden for so long, because me and my grandmother never really got along. So long story short, when my parents got divorced around the time when I was like 10, we moved into my grandmother's house. So this has been like an ongoing thing, where I would get in trouble all the time. And my mom would get to a point, because she was sick of my grandmother always saying things. And I wasn't a bad child. It was just that that's the way it was set up in order to push me into, the greatest version of me. But so, I don't harbor any resentment anymore. I can say that anymore. I did initially, but my mom was never like there to protect me. So I basically laid into her, like, the way I'm speaking to you, you should have been doing this for me when I was a child. And I'm like, the way you were acting towards my child, that was my child. The way you were acting towards her was basically, it was unacceptable. And so we argued for a little bit longer, and then I'm still talking, she be quiet. And then we get to the doctor's appointment. I look at her, I'm like, do you want me to go in with you? And she's like, aren't you supposed to? So in the doctor's office, I go with her. So we've been fine ever since. But what I noticed is that my shoulder stopped hurting. I was like, oh my God, y'all been waiting for me to do this? Because I notice I get this vision whenever I feel I may have like overstepped or said something I shouldn't have. Because randomly I will cuss somebody out if necessary. It just is what it is. I'm balanced. Dark and the light. I am balanced. So I've gotten the vision of Jesus turning over the tables in the temple. So I did get that vision after the argument with her. I was like, okay. And literally, not that my arm is fine, because I do need to build the strength back up in my arm. I've noticed my arm has been weak ever since it started back in 2022. So I know that I do need to build the strength back up in my arm. But the pain literally just went away. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. I had been carrying the burden, as I see a little blue sky peeping through the gray clouds up ahead. I have been, excuse me, carrying this burden that was causing me pain, that was causing detriment to my own being, because I was trying to spare her feelings, because I was in the thinking of, okay, I need to protect her, because she doesn't understand what's going on. She doesn't understand her mother. But, I'm 47, she's 69. It's like, no, at this point, she knows. She knows. And I'm causing myself more pain, more heartache, stunting my growth, because I'm not speaking my truths to my mom. because me and my mom usually typically get along. And see, I think another reason why all these things were transpiring with my daughter being at the house is that me and my daughter were actually getting along. I wasn't drinking because I was on like a 90-day fast from alcohol, and my daughter's pregnant. She wasn't drinking, and me and this daughter, we usually like oil and water. We don't get along, but we were getting along fine. And I think that also rubbed them the wrong way, because they didn't have that kind of relationship. My mom and my grandmother has her picks, and she picks and chooses who she likes and who she favors. My mom is not one of them, so of course I wasn't going to be one of them. So, and that's okay. Initially it used to hurt my feelings. Now I don't give a fuck, but because I know I'm here and I'm serving a purpose, and we still in there, it's all right. So I believe that was part of it too. They saw that my daughter and I were getting along so well. This is how it should be. And which was great, because me and this daughter, we bump heads. When I tell you the child is me 2.0, if not 5.0, yes, very much so. But we were getting along so well, and it was harmony in the house. The kids were bringing joy, in the house. My aunt was like loving them being there, because she loves kids. She was a teacher, substitute teacher, and she had her own grandkids that she did was with a lot, and she loved my grandkids like they were hers. And I love that, because she also treated me like that when I was a child as well. So the very point that these energies, I'm talking about my mom and my grandma, they saw us getting along, it rubbed them the wrong way. So all hell was breaking loose within the house, and to the point where they were verbally attacking my daughter, and arguments were breaking out, where I actually had to intervene. I'm having to say what I gotta say and sit in the vicinity of where everybody is, so they would shut the fuck up. Because it's like, we not doing this. She's pregnant. Y'all stressing her out. Y'all fussing for nothing. Like, because y'all old and miserable. Basically, old, miserable. Yeah, you're fussing for nothing. So I did my part. And I hadn't said anything to my mom. I actually ended up being sent away for a little bit after that. And I came back, and I still hadn't said anything, and I was kind of like holding on to it. So I was holding on to it, but guess what? It was hurting me. Like, literally, those emotions that I was harboring were hurting me. So are you holding on to something? Is it a truth that you need to speak to someone who you are interacting with on a regular? I believe if I wasn't interacting with her on a regular, I could probably release it a little bit easier, because it even came up during this conversations, over the weeks, months, whatever. I am basically my mom's caregiver at this time as well. And it's like, you weren't there for me as a child. I have to find compassion and give you grace when you were not there for me emotionally. Financially, yeah, made sure, we had clothes, food, place to live, all of that. But the other stuff, yeah, there was no emotional support. So, yeah, during certain things, there just wasn't emotional support. So I literally had been holding on to what had transpired with my child and some things from childhood. And I'm like, now I have to actually take care of you. That was a burden for me, but that burden has been lifted. I can do my job with joy in my heart now. I've gotten that off my chest, and literally me and my mom are fine. My shoulder not hurting. We can be cordial with each other. All is well. So That just may be a sink for someone. You may be carrying a burden that you need to release. It is time to release it. It is doing more detriment to you, to your soul, to your body, than what it needs to. It's time to speak up. It's time to speak your truths. Be honest. And if it comes out in a derogatory manner, so be it. Sometimes, we speak with great passion and colorful words. So sometimes it happens, if you feel the need to apologize at a later date, then you do so. I'm not apologizing for shit, because that's just how I am. I do apologize when necessary, but no, that was something that I had been harboring. I'm 47. Like I said, I had been harboring this for years. And I'm sure when my book comes out, not in the near future, but I'm sure I'm going to write one. It's a lot of things that I had been holding on to because I was burdened by. I don't know how to say that word, whatever. Because my mom became very much so unavailable very early on, before I was 5. So it was a lot. So it wasn't like I just all of a sudden and just blew up. I had been holding on to these things, and because I always thought she was the underdog, I would always give her grace, and but it's like, damn, who was giving you grace?